The tour of your new caravan starts on the outside. We'll work our way around the outside of the vehicle, and then when we return to the door we'll go inside and we'll demonstrate how everything works on the inside. The first thing you come to as you move along are the vents at the back of your fridge. Keep them free at all times, don't cover them up please. This is the outside access door to your garage space underneath the bed. Under here you'll find the battery, your freshwater tank at the back and your boiler. While we're in here I'll also show you these drain taps as part of your winter drain down. When I start talking about opening drain taps around the vehicle, those are the two for draining the pipework around the boiler. Moving round to the front of the caravan, down here are the corner steadies. One in each corner of the vehicle. These are the locks that undo so that the bike rack can tilt forward. With the bike rack tilted forward, you can open your gas locker. Inside the gas locker you find a bottle of propane. We've stored in the corner the plastic cover that did cover the A-frame at the front of the vehicle. That has to come off to fit your bike rack. If you ever decide to sell the caravan and keep the bike rack, you can then fit that cover back on. Behind the cover is also housed the winder for winding down the corner steadies, and a couple of wheel chocks as well. When you're packing up the caravan to leave on Saturday, I'll show you how the corner steadies work live. This is a crash safe pigtail, the orange gas pipe. To operate it you have to first open the gas bottle. The valve opens by turning anti-clockwise. To disengage the safety valve, press the green button for the count of 5 seconds and then release. You now have gas flowing into the system. Room for a second bottle. As we discussed, if you're wanting to have a gas barbecue, you can fit a gas bottle, just a longer hose with the what's the word I'm looking for, regulator on the end of it for your gas barbecue. Also stored in the front is your spare wheel, and down there instructions for your bike rack and a spare strap, which I will place inside the box with all your documents. And that's it locked. Bike rack back into place and locked in place. Now, the fitting of the caravan to your tow ball on your car, you'll see that in just a moment. We filmed that when we were using the tractor for bringing it round. We'll cut to that in just a second, but for now this is how to fit the security hitch lock. The false tow ball goes into the recess, handle goes down. When the handle goes down you'll see, sorry John, can you lift that cap off just for a second? You'll see that it's engaged red. It would be green under normal circumstances. When it's clipped in and locked in place it goes red. Then the hitch lock goes over the top of it. You push in the barrel at the side with the key and it's locked. Nobody can then raise that black handle to attach another vehicle to it. And as I said, you'll see in a minute how the actual attach and disconnect to a vehicle is done. Go for it. Go. continue the tour around the outside. Again, there's another corner steady. Then we come to the fill cap for the onboard freshwater tank. In your keys, there's a key for it. Lock stops kid on campsites picking sticks and stuff up and stuffing them into your water tank. Just fill it with an ordinary garden hose. Electric hookup point, self-explanatory. When you're on a campsite, it plugs in. Corner steady number 3, and to access the winder goes through the hole down here under the light cluster. More access to the corner steady. Corner steady number 4. This is your cassette toilet. 2 pushes to release. Now there is a little green handle in there which you lift up with your finger and then you draw the cassette out. The cassette should come out very freely. If you feel any resistance on the cassette, go back inside and check that the valve inside the toilet has been closed properly. Otherwise you could damage the mechanism on the top of the cassette. To empty the cassette, you turn the spout thus, unscrew what's euphemistically referred to as the crap cap, and empty in the appropriate place. Rinse with fresh water, put the cap back on and replace. Oh, I forgot, my colleague John demonstrated that button there. When you're emptying the can, make sure you press that in. That releases any potential airlock, allows air into the back. Otherwise the contents can come out a little bit like ketchup out of a ketchup bottle, and you don't want that splashing on you, that's for sure. There is a handle and there is wheels to tow it. When it's full, it can be held. To replace it, just the reverse. Most campsites in rural locations have septic tanks and would prefer it if you used organic chemicals. There is an explainer on the back of the cassette. Organic chemicals don't kill the bacteria in septic tanks, which is why they would prefer you use green rather than blue. And so we come to the door. Just demonstrate the half door that separates here. So if you take young children or pets with you, you can still get fresh air into the caravan without them escaping. And there is a fly screen as well. Not midge proof, I'm afraid, but fly proof definitely. And with that, we'll enter the inside of the caravan and demonstrate the workings inside. So starting our tour of the inside of the caravan with the control panel. Here you will see a wee rocker switch. If you push it towards the battery, it gives you the condition of the battery. The little yellow light there under 230 volts indicates we're plugged into mains and we're showing full charge. We're showing 13.5 volts. Now that is what it's feeding into the battery. It is a 12 volt battery. When you're not plugged into mains, that would show the battery condition. It would probably come to about 12.5. When you push it to the lower position, it shows you the condition of the water tank. So we're about 75% full in the freshwater tank at the moment. This is the main on-off switch for your 12 volt system. We switch that on, all the lights will come on, and you switch on the water pump. The water pump is now live, and every time you open the tap, a microprocessor will start the water pump and water will flow. We will switch the water heating on Saturday morning, and by the time you come to collect the van, the water will be warm, which will demonstrate that the boiler works. Down here, light switches on and off. So this one here on the outer side is for your outside light. This one is the interior roof light. There are lights above the kitchen area. They are controlled from these light switches here. Number 1 puts those lights on, number 2 puts these lights on. There's also a 240 volt, 230 volt 3-pin socket there. The on-off switch for the LED light above the kitchen is just on the end of the strip light, and that can be rotated. There's a little bit of movement in it shining down on the work surface. This is just a protective cover that's on the glass lid. During transit you can take it off during use. I'll take it off because I'm about to demonstrate the gas working. So you need to buy yourself a little igniter like this one here, and you wonder if this is where I could really do with 3 hands. Right, bear with me, I'll light the gas. Actually, what to do to light the gas, you push this in, you turn it to on, and you hold it in for a couple of seconds while you ignite this. I should have kept my glamorous assistant on site for this. You can now see all 3 are lit. Down to a peep and off. Down to a peep, up to max and off. Down to a peep, up to max and off. Drawer, little behind the handles. You remember this from Aberdeen, they're little catches. You push them up, that releases the drawer, and then that's just a little spare rubber grommet for the cooker. Down below, cupboard space, another set of taps for winter drain down. Those are the 2 taps that drain the kitchen area. So the 2 taps you saw outside next to the boiler drain the boiler. These 2 taps drain the kitchen area. Here are the gas isolation valves, and there's little stickers on the front that tell you which is which, and one will be for the gas heater, one will be for the gas oven and grill, and one will be for the gas hob. In the cupboard above the kitchen, that's your grill pan. Inside this little bag there's a few bits and pieces left over from installation. They are heat shields. The oven and grill can be installed in different locations in different vehicles. It's a little bit Heath Robinson, but it's worth having. This is a heat shield that's left over, and what we find, it's really quite useful. It slips in quite happily into the gap here. Now, it's not very pretty, and it's going to get in your way most of the time, but if you're using the grill and you've got a grill pan in there, that little heat shield there will just protect up here. Not what it was designed for, but it does do it. As I say, a bit Heath Robinson, but it will protect your caravan in the long term. I'll demonstrate how the windows and the blinds work on a more easily accessible window than the one in the bedroom. Cover still on the mattress. Obviously we'll leave that on, you take it off yourself. The mattress is split mattress, it's in 2 halves, allowing access from the inside to the garage space. That's your freshwater tank. To drain your freshwater tank, again, there are some drain valves. There's 2, they're just, you see that black plastic, that's a black plastic housing, and next to there are the 2 taps that will drain all the pipes around the fresh water tank. And that's a better look at the battery and your charging unit there, and you can see the taps to drain the boiler. Now stop the video for a second while I unscrewed this blue cap off the top of your freshwater tank to show you inside. There's the plug for draining your freshwater tank. So when the time comes to do a winter drain down, you pull that plug, that drains the freshwater tank. You undo those 2 taps, that drains your boiler. You undo those 2 taps, or unscrew them, open them up, and that will drain the pipes around the freshwater tank. The ones underneath the kitchen sink do the kitchen, and there's 2 for the bathroom, which I'll show you in just a moment. Operating the cassette toilet, lid and seat. Seats swivels so you can turn it round to give yourself more leg room if required inside the bathroom. Let's put the seat up so that we can see. As I pull this silver handle forward, the diaphragm inside will open. You now have access through to the cassette below. The flush is the button here on the top of the cistern, and there is no separate cistern. The pump draws water from the freshwater tank and it flushes to rinse the bowl after use. Always close the trap after you have used the facilities. It just stops any of the chemicals splashing back up into the bowl. The tap, as demonstrated to you in Aberdeen, is on a gooseneck which comes out to become the shower when the shower curtain is drawn around you when showering. Light switch is in the corner, and the tap operates the same as the sink and a micro switch. Yeah. And again, on Saturday we'll have hot water in the system to prove the boiler works. Just very quickly while I'm in here, I'll show you how this window operates. They push the button in the middle of the catch to release the catch, and then the two side catches are then released, and then the window is on a click system. So push the window out and you hear a click, and it will stay in place when you click. To close the window, don't just pull it closed tight. If you pull it closed tight, you'll break that mechanism. You push away as far as it will go, and then it draws all the way back, and you lock the catches back in place. You'll see that the catches have a halfway stop to allow fresh air to vent. You shouldn't travel with them in that vented position, otherwise you're in danger of the slipstream ripping the window off. The electric control on this side controls the fan of the heater. AOM, automatic, off, manual and boost. Whatever you have the fan speed set to, if you turn the outer ring to boost, it will instantly go to the high speed. Now you might be able to hear the fan motor running. If you come down to manual, you adjust the fan speed accordingly. If you select automatic with the fire on, the temperature sensor will sense the ambient temperature of the room, and the fan will come on and off to circulate warm air to keep the caravan at whichever temperature you have set. Moving over to the gas side of things for supplying heat, it's either off or it's on at whatever setting you choose. So in the off position, you turn anti-clockwise to select your heat position, press this down to charge the gas, and then press this to ignite. You should hear, as I release that button, the flame catching. So you select the temperature, press this down. Usually one spark is enough, but spark 1, 2, maybe 3, just to make sure. Release this button. If you don't hear the woomph of the gas igniting, press it down again and ignite it again, and eventually it will light. But you saw that time, it lit very quickly, and that is, in a brand new system, the gas still needs to be drawn through regularly. There is a little pilot light. It is kind of awkward to get down to see, but you can hear the gas burner going, and you very quickly start to feel heat coming from it. So if I put the blower on and crank this all the way up, very quickly you'll start to feel heat coming from there. Recommend that you try it out before you leave on Saturday morning. Switch it on. It does heat up very quickly, and keeps this wee caravan warm as toast. To convert the lounge or dinette area into a sleeping space, you have to drop the table down from the support bar that it's on at the moment to the lower bar. And to do that, you push down these two buttons here and here, and the table lifts off. Underneath, I'll turn this over, it'll be easier for you to see, there is a button that breaks the leg in half. Stored on the bottom of the table there is a foot that clips on there, and that just stops the sharp edges here cutting into your vinyl. The table then fits onto the lower side now, and from the cupboard, the final piece goes in there, and we have another bed. So while we have the bed made up, it's nice and easy for me to show you the storage space underneath the couch, and that is where your grey water tank is stored. While we were doing the tour of the outside, I neglected to tell you where you place that, but I'll show you on Saturday the spot on the caravan where you put that to collect the water from the shower and from the sinks. That is the 2 taps I spoke of earlier that you use to drain the bathroom pipes. Again, while the table's off, it's easier for me to show you this. That little butterfly valve is part of the air ducting system around the caravan. The fan that I showed you on the fire doesn't actually blow out from the fire. It blows the warm air around the rest of the caravan. There's another vent inside the bathroom, and what you can do is you can close off vents to just direct heat to different parts of the caravan. So you can either have heat in the bedroom area, in the living area, or in the bathroom area. Hot water in the CaraOne 390QD comes from an electrical Truma system, and in the bedroom area you'll find the on-off switch, off and on. Now, it only runs on 230 volts, as you can see, and you must have water in the fresh water tank and drawn through into the boiler before you switch it on. To draw water into the boiler, all you have to do is turn the tap to hot and turn it on, and when water comes out, that means that you have water in the boiler.